What? What's that from the game?
Night shift and work 10 till 6.
Recording in progress.
Pawan, can you hear us? If you have already started, we are not able to hear you.
Oops, sorry about that. I was talking to myself. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Pawan, go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let me start again. Okay, so sorry. My name is Pawan Oberoi. We are going to talk about Whiteboard.chat. Thank you for joining us today. The way we work on this webinar is that we go through our content. We are going to cover the basic features of Whiteboard.chat today. I'll give you some time to play with it live as a student with us. If you have questions anytime, please type them out on Zoom chat. And then Dhawal, who's my colleague, will read them out periodically to me. We will also do question and answers at the end. So if you have questions we haven't covered, or if you want to interact with us, please feel free to stay back past the top of the hour, and we'd love to hear from you. Whiteboard.chat was created by teachers' feedback from around the world. Teachers told us what they like, how to improve the platform. We initially created it for our own kids who were struggling with remote learning when the pandemic hit. But since then, it was taken over by teachers completely. Right, so there are two modes Whiteboard.chat works in. Is a collaboration mode where everybody ends up on the same board. It's like any other whiteboard out there, but teachers don't have control as to what the students can do and see. There's a teaching mode which we'll be paying attention to most of the time in this webinar, where the teachers have more control and the students get their own individual copy of the work that the teacher has created. You can also create group sessions, which I will show you really briefly, where students can end up on the same group and they can interact with each other. Right, so to start, it's super easy. Just click the Start Teaching button. It takes you to Whiteboard.chat. You get a board. Right, the first thing you'd want to do is give it a name. So let's say I want to call it Webinar September. What is it today? 16th. Right. And that will name your board something. And how most teachers use it is they upload content. So you can upload content using this icon on the left here. Right? You can upload it from your computer, from Google Drive. You can upload PDF files, you can upload Google Slides, any other Google stuff, or you can use a phone scanner even, right? This is pretty cool. We recently added it where you can scan textbooks with your phone and directly upload them, for example, into Whiteboard.chat. So I'll do the simple one first. So we can upload, let's say, from your computer. I have right. I have a PDF which has multiple pages. So I just select that. What Whiteboard.chat does is that it, for each page in the PDF, it actually creates in Whiteboard a page in Whiteboard.chat. So I had 3 pages. This is page number 1, this is page number 2, and page number 3, right? And that's it. And then I can get started immediately. I can start annotating on it, right? I can start typing on it on the PDF that I got created, right? All of that we can do. And once you're done this, you're prepared for your lesson. Now you want to invite students to it, right? It's super easy. Remember to use this invite button on the top right. So you hit the invite button. You have an option to embed it directly in Google Classroom or in Microsoft Teams if you're using those. Or if you're not, you can just copy this link. This is the link. If you hit this button here, it will copy that link. And you can put it in whatever LMS you use or even share it in chat. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, sorry, can you guys see my screen or no, Dhaval?
Yes, Pavan, I can see the screen. I'm just going to, I think we should ask others if they can also see it. I think, yeah, others are also seeing it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting us know.
Right, so what I'll do is I'll post, the link that I copied from the invite here, I'm going to open in another browser window, which is an incognito window, so you can see the student experience. Right, so if I click this, you'll see that the student comes up. The students don't need an account to work in Whiteboard.chat. By default, they can just enter their name, right? Student privacy is super important to us, so we don't like to keep any student records. I'm going to change the color so that you can see which the student is, right? So all the pen related tools are here on the top. You can see, you can change make it a highlighter, you can change the font size, you can change the thickness of the font, you can even change which font you want to use, right? And then the colors. And the students get a copy of the whiteboard that I just created, right? And they can actually start annotating on it, they can start typing on it. I'll also send this to Dhaval, who's my colleague. So you can see 2 students working on it at the same time. And this is the best part, right? So you as a teacher, you can go into this thing we call the grid view, right? And in the grid view, you can actually see your students as they're working live on their session, right? So if the student is doing something, you can see how they're working, and this is all live as they're working in their lesson, right? You as a teacher, you can join them on their board as well. So you can click this join, and now you're on the student's board, right? So you can work with them one-on-one. You can tell them, hey, pay attention here, right? Or you can even give them stickers. So we have over 2,000 different manipulatives and stickers that teachers have asked us to add onto the platform. It is super easy for us to add new stuff if you want. If you're missing something, we can easily add it in. It's very easy, right? So we can add things into the platform very easily. Right? So I gave stickers to this kid, working with them one-on-one, and then I can go back to the class and keep watching the rest of the class as they're working through the lesson. So I can also change this grid view. If I go to the settings, I can make it like a bigger grid if I have lesser number of kids. You can watch, see that this is Dhaval working on it. If they go to a different page, if the student finishes the lesson on their page, if they go to a different page, it will go to a different page. So this grid view is almost as if there's a camera on top of each kid's shoulder. and you can watch them live as they're progressing through the lesson, right? And you can correct them, you can see how they're working, all of that. And this is all really you need to know about Whiteboard.chat. I mean, to get started, this is just what most teachers use it for. Upload content, observe the students, engage with them one-on-one. You can also give them stickers from here if you don't want to. Like, for example, if Dhawal is doing a good job, I can just select a sticker and give it to them from here. Or even for this student, let me show you. I give them a sticker from the grid view directly, and then continue doing the work that you were doing. Right. So that's just the basic stuff for Whiteboard.chat. I'll wait for a second if there are any questions, Dhawal.
Yes, there is one question. Can we add our own stickers like Bitmoji?
Oh, yeah. Good idea. Yeah, we can. So, so if I go back to my book, so if you want, let's say you want to have a picture of your own Bitmojis, that most teachers do that, right? I like Yoda. Right? So I can go to, let's say I like this picture. Right? I can use a grab tool, for example, and copy it, right? And then you can paste it onto the whiteboard, right? And then if you want to resize stuff, you want to move stuff, use the move and resize tool here. That's the easiest. So you can drag the corners and you can resize the image to whatever you want it to be. Right? So if I want to even make it smaller, let's say this size. And then you can say, right click this guy, right? And you say add to my objects, right? And it'll ask you a name. I call it September Yoda, right? And then you can, if you want, that's it. Right now, it has become part of my library. So if I go to Gizmos, for example, right, you can go instead of to these stickers, I go.
It will be under my objects on the top.
So here there is a icon says my object, right? So you can see that there's my September Yoda here, right? So then now if I go to the grid view, for example, right, and if I go back here to the student, right, and if I want to, you can drag any of these windows by holding the top 3 buttons here. So you want to place it out of the way, you can do that, right? And then you can just do the same thing that I just did, right? So you can see that the student gets a copy of the sticker that I just uploaded. So you can keep adding your own stickers to things that if we are missing out, you can add your own stuff to it very easily as well.
There is another question, Pawan. Is there a limit on the number of students to one session?
Yeah, right now we have a soft limit of about 125 students to a session. We can increase that if you think that is not enough, but that's the current limit that we have.
Another question is about, will you be making an app for the students or a different login page for students?
The students login page is this, right? So inherently we are planning an app, but it's sometimes in the distant future. They can use this login page. So what some students do, so what some teachers do is that they can embed this link that I have placed here into the LMS directly, and then students use it right from there, right? You can also use this class code to log in for students as well. If there is something else you're thinking of, please let us know, and we'd be happy to interact with you and find out what's going on.
Yes, there are a couple of more questions. Can they use this, and this is for students, can they use it on their mobile phones?
Oh, yeah. We recently added the support for mobile devices, which is really cool in my opinion. But okay, so let me show you what this would look like on a mobile phone. So I can do some stuff to make my browser into a mobile phone on the right hand side, right? So on a mobile device, the students see a very simple menu, for example, but they can use it really nicely on a mobile device as well. So if you see, this is a mobile device, they can use it. They can do exactly what I was doing on a mobile device as well, right? And if they really want the full menu, they can just click this as well, and you can get back to the full menu. But if you want just the mobile mode, this works really, really nicely on small mobile tablets.
One more question. I'm not sure if it is a question or a comment. If the students are using a tablet, they don't see the top teaching choices.
Yes, so on the tablet, this is what renders, right? So if you want to see the full menu, just click this. You'll actually see the whole menu come out. If you want to go back to the mobile mode, this is what you click, and it will go back to the regular. It gives you more room on the tablet as well.
All right. I think those are the only questions we have at this point.
Okay, cool. All right, so I think we can get some more features done. I showed you the basic features, but remember, so some teachers get overwhelmed with the number of features we have on the platform, but don't, right? Because this is all you need to do. Just we have over 200 different features that are designed by teachers that we added onto the platform, right? So it's all in this help. If you click the help page, you can actually see help videos. You see the top 100 features. You can see how do you navigate. There's a teacher's guide. There's a student guide. There's a math input guide. We have a really extensive math editor built into the platform where you can actually write equations. You can do polynomials. You can do fractions. You can do a lot of stuff around math onto the platform, and it's all in here in the help button up there, right? And there's a bunch of tutorial videos. We have a YouTube channel where we'll post the recording of this webinar as well, and we have teacher-led webinars there. We have a Facebook group. So there are a lot of different things help out there that, and we love to help one-on-one as well. If you have questions, you can reach out to us at any time on feedback@whiteboard.chat, or Dhawal can post a link to our Facebook group, and you can reach out to us there as well.
There is one question, Pawan. Can the teacher also create lessons from a mobile, or should they be using a computer?
Yeah, I think the lesson creation on a mobile is a little bit iffy. At this point, we prefer teachers use computers or at least tablets to create lessons. Unless they're on a go and they want to edit lessons, they can. But I think it's much more convenient to do it using a computer. I'll show you one thing though before we jump on to other stuff. This is really nice, where what I was talking about, there's this phone scanner mode. So if I go into this phone scanner mode, what you can do is I can take my phone. So you can see on the camera, I'm taking my phone. Just scan this QR code. It will open a window on my browser where I can upload directly from. So if I'm doing work, for example, on pen and paper, right, I can take a photo using my mobile phone and upload it directly onto the whiteboard, right? You can say, hey, this is page number 4, upload. You can see that the work that I took, the picture I took from my phone, I can use it as a scanner and it shows up here really, really nicely, right? And that the students can do too. If they're doing work with pen and paper, they can actually upload it directly onto the whiteboard. You as a teacher can correct their work on pen and paper also onto the whiteboard as well. That really helps.
There is another question, Pawan, about a teacher who experimented with the class this past Monday, but it didn't work. The page uploaded appeared very small on the student screen. The question is, will we be showing how to use the writing tool tonight?
We'll show you most of the tools, but if I miss something, please let me know. And you're welcome to stay back later at the top of the hour, and we can go over your specific concerns as to what you were seeing, and we'll be happy to walk you through some of the examples.
There is a question about the pan tool. That what does it do?
Oh, the pan tool is useful for moving things around. So if you want to move things, you want to make it smaller, right? You want to pay attention to a particular area, right? Zoom and pan. So it's useful for doing things of this nature, especially on mobile devices. It's super useful if you want to focus on a certain area, right? That's where it helps.
Okay, those are the only questions we have right now.
Okay. Okay, so let me go back. So let me show you all the tools. The main toolbar is here on the left-hand side. You can open this, right? You can see what these things are. By default, if you click the drawing, like for example, the pen tool, it'll pick the pen as your option. But if you click this little arrow next to it, you can see more options. You can do lines, you can do shapes, you can do you have shapes like circles, rectangle. We have a compass even. You can draw polygons, sorry. You can do arrows, of course. And there's this cool magic drawing thing, which I really like to play with most of the time when I'm not doing anything. So it uses some AI to try and guess what you are drawing, right? And it gives you better pictures of that, right? So if you wanted to, it's drawing a house, but I want a much nicer house, it'll pick that, right? And similarly for like if I'm drawing a bicycle, right, you can see, it found a bicycle. So you can make really, really nice things out of it as well, right? On the text side, there are different options too. So if you click the text tool, there's a basic click and type. So if you just select that, you can click anywhere on the screen, you can type. If you want to resize the text window, you can do that, right? You can do basic resizing using the text window on the right hand side. You can also use a basic text editor, which is built in, which is pretty new as well. So this makes it basically look like Word, right? Right, so it actually makes it look like Word, and you can type anywhere on the screen as well. There is a rich text editor. So if you want to have like more of a formatting, let me 1 second, sorry. Go to a new page. Right. So if I were to use the rich text editor here, there's a text box, of course, that you can use to, this has more formatting choices. You can do bullets, numbers, you can do text colors, you can even put emojis and stuff like that into the text editor, right? And then there is also, text boxes. So if your kids, which can do auto correction. So if you want to have kids, for example, if I go back to my first page, let me go back to the first page. Right, and if I want to have kids write in a certain area, I can put a text box for younger kids, for example, and you want to put an answer, you can have them put an answer is here as well. You can say the right answer is bye, and it's worth 1 point, right? And then if the kids go to page number 1, so this kid is still mobile mode. You can set it to, this is right now student paced. There's a setting to set it to teacher paced as well, where you can have follow teacher on, and the student will have to follow what you're doing. So, and then the student can just use the text tool, and then they can write the answer in here, right? And since you said autocorrect, if you go to these 3 dots menu, you can say autocorrect all boards, right? And it autocorrects it as well. You see it actually scores it. It tells them this is the right answer. So if you put the text boxes, you can use it to do auto corrections too.
Pawan, I'm going to ask you a question. When I invite students, there is a teacher who is asking a question. They are writing on my page. How do you set the worksheet to all pages as they log in? Also, they can write only on their own page and not on my page.
Right. So by default, if you look, what I did when I uploaded the content, the student has their own copy, right? You can see that they have their own copy of the page. They cannot erase anything. They can erase whatever they did in pink, but they cannot erase any of the stuff that the teacher has put on the screen, right? They cannot erase the marking, they cannot erase the stickers, they cannot do anything with the teacher-based content. And this is what it should work like, right? Unless most of the time, one of the things that teachers do is that they share the link from here, from this board, or they are not in teaching mode, they're in collaboration mode. If you're in collaboration mode, you can erase each other's work, but in teaching mode, the students get their own copy. They don't even see each other's work. They can never change the teacher's work, right? So make sure you invite the students from the invite button here. So you have to use the right link to invite the students, then they won't be able to see each other's work. You don't have to lock the content. The lock is there to make sure you accidentally as a teacher don't move it, but you don't have to lock it. The students can never move anything that is on the teacher's board. All right, so let me keep going. So in the text, there are also like the math editor, which I was talking about. You can write complex equations with it, right? If you want to, I showed you the guide. You can actually use that. Right, so you can write really complex equations using the math editor. There is also a sticky notes, so you can actually add sticky notes as you see, right? Right there an offset, right? And then you can use the the text editor to write on the sticky notes as well. And there's also manual grading, which we'll not cover in this. There's also handwriting recognition, just like we have text recognition, we have handwriting recognition, which actually works in different languages too. So let me just show you English first. And this works really well with a stylus, or you can add like a mobile device and you can use that to do right on the screen as well. It works. Oops, I didn't use handwriting. My handwriting is terrible in general, but you get an idea, right? So it actually does handwriting recognition as well, and different languages too. And this is the eraser. One of the easiest ways to get to the eraser, if you're in drawing mode, which I like, or teacher suggested that, is if you use the right click of a mouse and drag, it turns into an eraser. So you can quickly erase stuff that you want, and you can erase more stuff using the eraser, as you see, right? And then this is the upload options. You can upload from a computer, from your Google Drive. You can play bingo, which I will show you as well in a bit, how you can use that to play bingo with, we'll play that together as a class. You can upload from liveworksheets.com directly. You can use a phone scanner as well to upload content onto the screen. Right, the select tool has multiple different options, especially for the younger kids. We have Immersive Reader built into the platform. So they can actually read PDFs in Immersive Reader, right? And you just select that, it'll open Immersive Reader and you can read even PDFs in Immersive Reader, read it out aloud in different languages, right, from Microsoft. There's a lasso tool to select multiple objects together at the same time. Or we can animate different objects as well. So you can animate anything you draw or any stickers that you put on the screen. You can rotate them. People use it to animate the bit emojis, so to call out attention to certain areas. You can, of course, upload GIFs to the platform as well, and that helps too. So a lot of different options to call out attention to different areas if you wanted to. So that's the basic tools on the left. I'll stop here for a second and see if Pavel has questions for me.
Yes, there is one question about how do you make students follow the teacher?
Yeah, okay, so I can show you. So if you go to the participants panel here on the 3 dots menu on the top, you can turn on the follow teacher mode, right? When follow teacher is enabled, you can see there's a thing that shows up. So, and whichever page the teacher goes on, the student automatically changes to that same page, right? So you can do teacher-based activities using this, right? You can also lock the class from here if you want to. You can lock a particular page that you want to from here as well. So all of those options are available to you.
There was a question about Teams, that if the students are connecting to Teams through their school portal, do they still need to enter the join code to use the whiteboard?
Not quite. If you embed the whiteboard as an app inside Teams, you can embed Whiteboard.chat as an app inside Teams, and then you can select the link from your join window, this one, and put that inside Teams. So when they join Teams, they will actually get that link. There's a video. There was a webinar we did on how to use Whiteboard.chat with Teams specifically. Maybe Dhaval, you can find it at some stage and put a link to it.
Yes, once I'm done with the question, I'll find the video and I'll post it in the chat window. There are a couple of more questions, Pawan. Can the students download a copy of the lesson and the exercises?
Yes. So the student, if you click this little icon, the cloud icon on the top, you can download. They can download their whole PDF, right? So you can say download my board. So it will download all of the work that they did, right? All of the pages, all of the annotations, and keep it as a PDF, right? All of the work that is being done is automatically getting saved in the cloud as well. So once you get enough usage with Whiteboard.chat, teachers stop downloading, but you can see that all the work is being downloaded as PDF, right? And they can submit this as a assignment into Google Classroom. As a teacher, you can download the whole class using the same button. You can download the whole class as a PDF as well, right? You can go through that.
There is a question about phonics. If the program have coding for phonics, such as a macaron or brave, not sure I understand the question clearly. Does the program have coding for phonics?
I was asking if you could. I was asking if you can code like short vowels and long vowels with the breve and the macaron. I noticed you said something about there was different letters forming and stuff. Do you have any of that in there for coding words?
Yeah, I think there is. I'm not an expert. We are not a teacher, but teachers have asked us to put different fonts. So for example, there's a specific font. I forget where it is. We can look it up and figure out where it is. And if you can send us an email, or we can do a separate session with you, we have some specific fonts for phonics as well. We also have some gizmos. Inside the gizmos, there are phonogram letters, right? So there's some things in there as well, right? So you can use those too. Why is this an offset? All right. Any other questions, Dhaval?
Yes, people want to see how you use the Immersive Reader again. Yeah,
so Immersive Reader is pretty straightforward. So there's a very unique thing we did with the Immersive. Oh, this isn't follow teacher mode. So you just use the select tool. This is the select tool, and click anything that is readable. It's a PDF or anything. If the teacher has written a piece of text and you click it, it'll on the student side, it'll say read in Immersive Reader. You can turn it off if you want to. You can turn off in the settings. If you don't like Immersive Reader, you can turn it off. Another unique thing that we did was actually you can edit Immersive Reader text as well, or you can add Immersive Reader text to any object. For example, if I want to call out Yoda, stop him from moving first. Let me find something else.
You can pause animation on the.
I know, I can find something else though. Right, let's say it is a periodic table, right? And of course, this doesn't have Immersive Reader associated with it. So you can say this is a periodic table, right? And then you can associate any, and then when the students click that, they will actually see that read in Immersive Reader thing, and whatever you associated comes up in Immersive Reader. So you can add Immersive Reader text to pretty much anything, or if something is not being scanned properly, you can edit that as well.
Okay. Pawan, there are a couple of questions about the free plan. What features are available in the free plan? Does the free plan allow the students to interact the way that it used to be in the previous free version? And also there is a question on the co-teaching.
Yeah, so the free plan actually allows you to do everything that I'm showing you. The only thing that it doesn't allow you are some advanced features which you're not going to cover in this webinar, which is uh, engagement reports from students, or it doesn't allow you to do audio video conferencing. There's audio video conferencing built into the platform as well. So, but the engagement, observation, all of the stuff is still there in the free plan.
Can you show them how to invite a co-teacher?
Yeah, so there are two ways you can invite a co-teacher. So you can click this invite button. You can click this button which says show co-teacher invite, right? And then share this link with the co-teacher. And when they click in, they will become a co-teacher automatically. Or the other way is if they're already in the room. So for example, if I want to make this person a co-teacher, I can just go to the avatar menu here and say make co-teacher. And then this person also becomes a co-teacher. They have access to the grid view, right? And then they can see the other teachers' work and everything as well. And they can annotate on the teacher's board as well.
Okay, you can continue. I mean, I think I have covered all the questions that people were asking, so we are good for the time being.
Okay. All right, so now, so I wanted to show you some more features. So one thing is this chat thing. The chat in Whiteboard.chat is pretty cool. So it's a one-to-many chat. So you can actually chat as a teacher. You can chat with all of your students, right? But the teacher, when the students type something, they only goes back to the teacher, nobody else. And another thing we did for English language learners or people who speak a different language than the teacher is you can actually set chat language which is not the same as you, right? So for example, if let's say this student only spoke German, right, they can select German as their language, and whatever the teacher types, it gets translated automatically to the student's language, right? And the same thing happens when we have speech to text built into the platform as well. So you can actually have it understand in different languages and translate their language at the same time as well. So let me show you some other cool things here. In the tools menu, you have several different options. You can upload media. You can upload media from a webcam directly. You can upload like a photo from a webcam. You can upload audio video files into Whiteboard.chat. So directly into Whiteboard.chat. You can, of course, embed YouTube videos here as well if you want to. There's this breakdown tool, which is quite popular as well. So I'll quickly show you that too. So if you have something that can be broken down, for example, if you have math manipulatives, so I can pick math manipulatives from here. Right? Let's say there's 100 block, right? Or there is we have currencies from around the world as well. So let's say there's US currency. You have a $20 bill, right? Right. So what you can do with the breakdown tool is that you can use this tools, use the breakdown tool, and you click it, it will break the 100 block into 10 blocks, 10 one, and similarly to 1 blocks, and same thing with the currency even, right? 20 gets broken down to tens and fives, right? And then dollar bills and then coins, then you can break it down to nickels. So it basically, and then to cents. So it helps to teach the kids how things get broken down with the breakdown tool. There's the grids. So we have a multitude of grids built into the platform as well. Right. So if I were to go to page number 5, it's not empty. So if you want to clear the page, you click this thing here and say clear page, it will clear everything on the board. Right, so then you can go back. You can, we have multiple different types of grids, like we have a regular grid. Any of these objects that you want to put on the top of the menu, if you want to favorite any of these, you can just select this heart next to it and it will put it right at the top, so you don't have to go deep into the menu. We have a handwriting grid, right? We have a college line grid. This is really nice. If you set it with a background color, for example, right, you can go to the color background. Yeah, so if you set the background color, it looks like a real piece of paper. We have coordinate planes built in. We have primary line paper. We have music sheets. Yeah, so this is where we started. We can actually use the music sheet along with the gizmos here. There's a music. For music teachers love it to teach music theory or music lessons as well. So there's yeah, so you can actually write music with it as well.
Pawan, there was a question on the clear page that you just demonstrated. Can it clear the page that you are on, or is there a way to clear all the pages as well?
So you can clear all the pages too. So you can just say clear all pages. It will clear all the work in all of the pages.
Okay. There are a couple of questions on if you can talk about the group boards, how the students can engage with each other on group board, like collaborate together in a group.
Right. So I think there are several ways to create group boards. You can pre-create groups. Again, we did a webinar just for group boards the last time around. If you're interested, you can watch it. The simplest way is this. You click on the avatar menu here. You can say create group board, right? And then you can say auto create group. So if you want to put 3 students, for example, in each group, you just say 3 as the number here and say auto create groups. Now what happens is that it'll create a group called auto group 1, for example, and it'll put all the students onto the same group board, right? So if this guy is a teacher, if I were to make another, let me not undo the co-teacher for this first. And do that one more time. Let me delete it. So say create group board, and then I can select certain students as well. I can say, hey, pick these 2 guys, move them to the right, give the group a name, group 1, and hit create group, right? And then the students you see get transported automatically to the group board. Now, if Dhaval, can you draw on page 1 of the group board?
Yes, sorry, I was also looking at the other stuff. So hold on. Yeah.
So you can see Dhaval is now on the same group board. And you as a teacher, you can put some of the gizmos in here as well. So we have, like, for example, spinners, right? So we can put a spinner here, and then the kids can sync students spin. And so you can see that. And then when the students can spin the spinner, they can interact with each other. But even on the group boards, as a student, I can erase only my work. I cannot erase Dhaval's work, for example, right? I can only erase the stuff that was in pink. I cannot erase anything that was not in pink, right? So that helps. And that as a teacher, if you join the group board, right, the way to do it is click the avatar menu again and click this eye. And then if you use the select icon here, this one, you can actually select any object and see who wrote what on the group boards too, right? So it's super useful to keep control even in group settings when the kids are playing with each other.
There is a question about, can I set up several whiteboard pages in advance and then save them to be ready for my lesson?
That's what most teachers do. So basically most teachers prepare for the lessons on the weekend. All of the work that you do gets saved automatically in the cloud. So if you go to manage boards here, you can see, for example, the work that I was doing right now. Webinar, you see here, so 16th. So all the work gets saved, all the student works, the group boards, all of the work automatically gets saved here. So you can create multiple boards in advance. You can share that with your other teachers in the same grade level. You can actually do, so for example, you can send a copy to another teacher, right? You can save another copy for a different section in your class, all of that through here. But
Yes,
yeah,
there was exactly a question on the co-teacher, co-workers, how to send a copy. So I think you just covered it. Thank you.
right, you can say send a copy. This generates a link. Oh, I said save a copy. So you can say send a copy. Right? It will create a link. You just copy this link and share it. It will create a copy for them. From that point onwards, as soon as they click the link, it will diverge. And so whatever they do on your board doesn't get reflected back and forth. There are community boards as well. So if you go to manage boards, you can see in the community boards here, other teachers have shared their work for free. So you can get some inspiration as to how to use Whiteboard.chat. There are from all over the world in different lessons, in different categories, in different grade levels. You can see how people making bump games, alphabet boards, all of that stuff in here. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. So what I'll do is let me give you one board to play with. I'm going to ask you to guess the name of a movie. I will show you how to create that as well. So two things I'll do. One is, okay, let's do the bingo one first. That's also another really popular activity on Whiteboard.chat. So what you can do is just like you can upload PDFs. If you click this upload button, you can go say upload bingo. Right. What that does is that when you upload a bingo file, so there's animal feelings bingo, let's say, right? So what that does is that this animal feelings bingo is a PDF which has multiple pages. So each page is a tile really, right? So what Whiteboard.chat will do is that for each participant, it will assign a random tile to them out of this whiteboard. And then when students join, so what I will do is I'll share this link with you guys on chat. If you click that, you can join as students. And when you join, you'll see you'll get a random page out of it. And I, as a teacher, I can watch everybody as they're joining and playing bingo. And you can cheat, kind of, you can call out if certain students are not getting their turn, you can call that out. And you can see as the students are playing all of the work that they're doing. Right? So that's pretty cool.
Pawan, while the teachers are playing with their board, there are a couple of questions. One is for the free plan, that are you just allowed 10 boards for free?
That's right. So you only have the ability to save 10 active boards on your class. You can, of course, download them as PDF. You can download it as, you can export the board as well. So you can say save local copy and keep it forever on your Google Drive or on your hard disk. But in the managed boards, you're only allowed to have 10 classes, not 10 boards. 10 classes are active at any time.
Related to the same one, Pawan, how can we save a board so that we can use it another time?
So here, so it automatically gets saved in managed boards. You have to be cognizant about the expiration time of the boards if you are on a free plan. But you can extend. So if you go here, you can see that all of the boards have an expiry date associated with it when they will get deleted, right? But you can click this icon next to it and it will extend the expiry date by a week or by a month, depending on which plan you're on, right? But you can also download these boards and keep it on your hard drive forever, right? So if you click this thing and say export and you say save local copy, it will keep it on your hard drive forever. And when you want to import it, you go back to manage boards and you can import it again.
There was a question about students' board. Do they expire with the gold plan?
The students board with the gold plan, nothing expires ever. So it always stays.
Okay, I think, yes, that's the question. So unless teachers are playing with the bingo and if they have any questions about it, I covered the question that I'm asking here. Yeah.
Okay, let me create the second activity for the teachers, which I will hide and create first because I don't want you to know the name of the movie I'm putting in. All right, so if you go to page number 2 on your boards, right, you will see another activity I just created where it's like hangman. So if you use the move and resize tool, move or resize tool or the select tool, you can guess. And as you're guessing, the bears keep vanishing if you make a bad choice, right, a wrong choice. It's the name of a movie. People use it for different purposes. And again, you can watch the whole class as they're playing this game as well. You can see somebody making progress. So,
Pawan, while the teachers are playing the game, there is a question about if you can show how to give a solid color to a shape that we had placed on the board.
sure. So if let's say you created a shape, I go to my page number 3. I can go to shapes. Right? Let's say I draw a rectangle. I can use the select tool, or you can right click it either way, right? And you can say fill color. You see the fill color option here, and then you can pick whichever color you want for filling it, or if you want to make the outline a different color, you can make it a different color as well. There are like I think over 200 different tools. Like I said, there's like a xylophone, there's a two octave piano, there are rec and rec boards, there's a screen shade, you can embed external websites, you can actually write software on it. Anything you can think of, Whiteboard.chat can do, or if not yet, we can make it do, right? So please free to reach out to us and tell us what you think and how we can improve and what is missing, and we'll be very happy to help you and engage with you and make this better and better. We see there's so much change this brought about during the pandemic in education around the world that it's just overwhelming for us, right? So teachers tell us that students were not engaging with them, especially with remote learning, until they found this. And because they were able to see the students and engage with them live and play games and do so many things on the same platform, it just made so much difference.
There is another question, Pawan, about how you can keep the students on the current page without making them switch back, or how can they turn page just the way teacher is doing. I think it is about follow teacher.
Right. So so if you click this participants panel on the top avatar menu, there is a setting here to say follow teacher. If you turn that on, then you and the teachers will be you and the students will be on the same page, right? And then they will not be able to turn pages as you go along the class. Anything else, Dhaval?
No, I think that's the only questions I can see in the chat window. So unless
Okay.
people have more, yeah.
All right, so cool. All right, so I think thank you everybody for coming. I'm going to stop the recording now. But like I said, we'll stay back. So if you have questions, if you want to talk to us, please feel free to unmute and chat with us or tell us about specific problems you're facing. We'll be happy to help.
There was a